If your dog sleeps with you, they're trying to tell you this. Your dog climbs onto the bed, turns in a circle twice, and settles against your leg like it was always going to happen this way. It feels automatic, routine, almost nothing. But there is a reason your dog chooses this exact spot every single night out of every option available to them in your home. And there is one thing in particular I want you to stay for, because if your dog has recently changed how they sleep near you, the reason, which we'll get to at number 7, is something worth paying attention to. Let's get into it. 1, it was never really a comfort decision, it was a safety decision. Your dog has a dog bed, a rug, a cool tile floor in summer. If comfort alone were driving the choice, they'd have options and plenty of good ones. Instead, they choose you. Researchers studying dog owner attachment have found something called the secure base effect, the same phenomenon documented in human infants and their caregivers. Dogs show more confidence, more willingness to explore, and less stress in threatening situations, specifically when their owner is present, functioning as what researchers call a safe haven. Sleep is the most vulnerable state any animal enters. Your dog choosing to be unconscious right beside you, instead of anywhere else in the house, is not a small thing. It's a decision your dog makes with their guard fully down. Ruby Lou too. The sleep itself is different when you're there. This is the part almost nobody talks about. It's not just where your dog sleeps, it's how well they sleep. A recent polysomnography study using non-invasive sleep monitoring on real family dogs compared how dogs slept beside their owner versus beside a friendly stranger. Dogs fell asleep faster, slept more efficiently, and spent more time in deep sleep, specifically when their owner was present, compared to sleeping near someone unfamiliar. Your presence isn't just tolerated, it measurably changes your dog's biology, dropping them into a deeper, more restorative kind of rest that a stranger or an empty room simply cannot produce. Seattle Canine Club 3, closeness rewires both of you at the same time. Researchers measuring oxytocin, often called the bonding hormone, wanted to know something specific. Does this rise happen with any friendly human, or only with the one your dog is actually bonded to? The results showed the oxytocin increase was significantly higher when dogs interacted with their own owner compared to a person they knew but weren't closely bonded to, confirming this isn't generic affection, it's relationship specific. And this isn't one-directional. The same surge happens in you. Every night your dog presses into your side isn't just them feeling something, it's a mutual chemical event, quietly running in both of you at once. Ruby Lou, if this is changing how you think about that nightly routine, go ahead and subscribe, because the next part explains something your dog has been doing without you ever noticing. 4, they can smell what you're feeling before you say a word. Here's where it gets genuinely strange. Researchers collected breath and sweat samples from people before and after a stressful task, then presented both samples to trained dogs. The dogs were able to reliably detect the odor associated with acute human stress from breath and sweat alone, with accuracy well above chance. A separate study found dogs exposed to a stress-linked scent from a completely unfamiliar person became measurably more cautious, becoming less likely to approach ambiguous situations, a pattern researchers describe as risk reduction behavior. Now think about what that means at 11 p.m., pressed against you in the dark. Your dog isn't just keeping you warm. They're running a continuous read of your chemistry, and they know something has shifted in you before you've said a single word about it. Nye Popular Science 5. Your restlessness becomes theirs, whether either of you wants it to. This connection cuts both ways and not always comfortably. Research on shared sleep has found that human movement during the night fragments a dog's sleep almost as much as a dog's movement fragments ours, and some dogs, particularly those closely bonded to their person, are especially sensitive to their owner's wakefulness. This is the cost side of the bond nobody puts on a greeting card. Your dog isn't just sleeping near you. Some nights, they are quite literally losing sleep because of you, tracking your tossing and turning the way you might track theirs. 6, being pushed away doesn't erase the instinct. It just relocates it. If a dog gets moved off the bed onto a floor bed nearby, the underlying drive for proximity doesn't disappear. Dogs consistently choose the closest available spot to their owner, even when the bed itself is off limits, which is why a floor bed positioned right beside yours is so often recommended by behaviorists as a compromise. The specific surface was never really the point. The distance between you and them was. 7. When they suddenly stop wanting to, pay close attention. A dog who has slept pressed against you for months or years doesn't simply lose interest for no reason. If your dog begins avoiding your bed, particularly if they're getting older, consider their physical health first. Dogs instinctively withdraw and seek solitude when they're in pain, an old survival habit built around hiding vulnerability. A conversation with your vet is always worth having here. Beyond health, think about what's changed around them. A new pet, a new person, a shift in routine, or something in that specific space that unsettled them once. Your dog chose to sleep beside you because it was the one place their guard could fully come down. If that changes, they're not being distant for no reason. They're telling you something changed, and it's worth finding out what. That nightly ritual, the circling, the settling, the weight against your leg, was never nothing. It was a choice, made freely, every single night, by an animal built to protect itself first. And they chose you anyway.